Okay, good morning and welcome to our Solving Equations quiz review. So we're going to go through all of these today, probably in multiple videos so they don't get too long. Make sure you follow along and take the notes. I recommend you trying to solve them yourself ahead of time and then go back and watch the video to see that you have the correct answers. Okay, so to start, we have number one, we have x plus 10 equal negative 62. Now, there are two ways you can look at this, right? You can divide it right down here. You can recognize that there's a hiding 1 in front of that x, and you can solve it just as we've been solving all of them. There's 1, 2, 3 terms and only one variable, so that indicates we can start undoing the equation. So we're going to start, remember, the first move when we start undoing is to undo our add and subtract, if there's one there. Add and subtract. Okay, because we're trying to undo PEMDAS, okay? So the last thing is add and subtract. So we're going to undo add and subtract first. So we're going to subtract 10 because it was a plus 10, and we're going to subtract 10 from the other side. Got to keep it balanced. The left side cancels out because positive 10 and negative 10 are exact opposites. So bring down the 1x. Equals now, and if you do this correctly, negative 62 minus 10 more will give you negative 72. Now, the last step technically is to then divide away this 1, because this is 1 times x, right? So to undo a times, we'll divide by the 1. Or you could realize that 1x is the same as x and that you're done. So x is negative 72 for our first equation. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Same idea. We only have one variable. We have less than 3 terms, so we can start undoing the equation. This time, again, it says start with undoing add or subtract, but this says negative 6 times x equal 42. So there really is no add or subtract. So our second move is we're going to undo either multiplication or division. So we're either going to multiply by the reciprocal or, or we are going to divide by the coefficient. Okay, so in this case, to undo a times negative 6, we are going to divide by negative 6 on both sides. This side will cancel out because negative 6 over negative 6 is really 1. And this side will give us our answer. So x should equal a negative 7. Be very careful with your positives and negatives here. Remember, if you have a positive divided by a negative or a negative divided by a positive, we're going to end up with a negative answer. Ooh, sorry, I'm off screen. Okay, let's do the next one. Next in line, 5x minus 9 equal 21. All right, 1, 2, 3 terms and only one variable. We can start undoing the equation. So again, we're going to use our rules. We're going to start by undoing an add or subtract. So I'm going to undo this minus 9 by adding it. Add 9 here. Add 9 on the other side. This side cancels. So we're going to bring down our 5x equals 21 plus 9 is 30. All right, step 2 is we're going to multiply by our reciprocal or we're going to divide. So remember, this is 5 times x. To undo that times, we're going to divide by 5 here, divide by 5 here. This one cancels out, and we get x equal 30 divided by 5, which is 6. Good. All right. We're flowing. So next one is, again, it looks different, but it's the same process. The only thing here is students get confused with the positives and negatives here, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3 terms and only one variable, so we start undoing. So again, we're going to start by undoing an add or a subtract, right? So in this case, look at this. This 7 minus, that minus actually goes with the 3, which is timesing by the x. So I'm going to undo this 7 by subtracting 7, because this is really a positive 7. And then I'm going to subtract 7 on this side. Oops. And I'll bring down, now that minus sign becomes a negative when I bring it down. Negative 3x then. Negative 20 minus 7 more is negative 27. And then again, this is a multiplication. I want to undo that by dividing by negative 3. Divide by negative 3 on this side. That side cancels out. Now I have a negative divided by a negative, and negative 27 divided by negative 3 is going to give me positive 9. Okay, so far so good. This one I would say is, of those first 4, the most tricky one. If I were making a cheat sheet for a quiz, I would make sure I include something like this on it. Okay, next one. Right away, you notice there's a fraction in this one, so that makes it different. So there's going to be a different move, but no need to panic. We're going to start the same. So let's look. We have 1, 2, 3 terms and only one variable. Okay, remember in front of a variable without anything, there's a 1. So we put a 1 there. So this is really 1 over 9x plus 14 equal negative 3. Okay, let's start undoing. So we start by undoing the add or subtract. So I'm going to undo that plus 14 by subtracting 14 from both sides. Okay, so bring down 1/9 x. And then now negative 3 minus 14 is going to give me negative 17. And then now I have this fraction times x. So to undo a fraction times a variable, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. The reciprocal flips the fraction, right? Because what ends up happening is this really would equal 1 if you multiplied it. But I have to do it on this side as well. So this side will cancel out. The 9 cancel and the 1 cancel. So x equals now, you've got to do negative 17 times 9. And if you have a calculator, you can use it. Otherwise, you'd have to do it the long way. But it does equal negative 153. Okay, that's another one. If I was making a cheat sheet, I would put that in my notes. Okay, let's go again. This is another one that looks a little different. You might notice right away. It looks longer than all the equations we've done so far. And the reason it looks longer is it has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms in this one. Okay, so if you have 4 terms, somehow we've got to get it down to 3 or more. Now I'm going to put the line down to notice that this side already has 3 terms on it. All right, so we've got to get that down to 2 or 1. What we're going to do is we're going to add or subtract like terms. So 7x minus 2x are our like terms. We're going to put that together. 7x minus 2x is 5x. Then we're going to bring down plus 21. We haven't used that yet. Equal now negative 49. Okay, now we have it down to 3 terms, and we can use the same steps that we've used above. So we're going to undo our plus 21 by subtracting. Okay, bring down 5x equal negative 49 minus 20, negative 49 minus 21 more is going to end up giving you negative 70. Okay, 5 times x equal negative 70. So we have to undo our times by dividing. Okay, so negative 70, negative divided by positive, a negative 70 divided by 5 should give us a negative 14. And there's our answer. Whoop, we're rolling. Okay, let's flip the page And we will continue our review of the next video.